Hey everyone, welcome back to the Bookworms Buddy, and today is my December wrap-up and my January TBR. So, we're going to start with my December reviews and wrap-up first. I chose 8 books initially, and I got 6 of them, which is pretty good considering Christmas season. And we did travel this year. We went to Indiana to be with my family, so I did not get to really read much of anything. So it was just really difficult to sit down and read when we were doing this and doing that, and no time for peace and quiet. So anyway, for the first book for December, The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I loved this book. It was fantastic. I've heard it was good, and it's taken me this long to get to it. But, yeah, I really enjoyed it. If you like apocalyptic, dystopian kind of books, then you probably really like this one if you haven't read it already. And I know I really enjoyed it. I loved the characters. I thought they were very well written. And I loved the flow of the story and how fluid it was. I think Collins did fantastic on that and on the characters' development, and I actually even watched the movie after I read the book, and the movie was done very well. It's awesome. So, I mean, it followed the book, it stayed on target, and of course you don't get everything in the movie that you read in the book, but it was close. It was really close. It's a fantastic book, and I look forward to reading the other 2 in this trilogy. As far as I know, it's only going to be a trilogy. You never know. So yeah, anyway, The Hunger Games, Suzanne Collins. The next one, Roadside Crosses by Jeffrey Deaver. Loved this book, probably in my top 5 for 2013. This is Catherine Dance book number 2. The first one was A Sleeping Doll, and this one even outdid that one. I thought The Sleeping Doll was great. Well, this one was even better. The twist and the turns, and Catherine Dance's character has got to be one of my favorites in all mystery suspense genre. Her character is phenomenal. I completely enjoy her. She's tough. She's flawed. She doesn't let people walk over her, and she gets down to the nitty-gritty and she solves the crime. So this was fantastic. If you want to read a good detective, mystery, suspense, crime writer, try out Jeffrey Deaver. This one was phenomenal, in my opinion. And the third one is XO, which I've already read, but I plan on reading it again probably this next month. I've been reading this series with my friend Catherine, and so far there's only 3 books. So I was told by another friend that 2015 he thought the next book to Catherine Dance was coming out. So this is excellent. Excellent book. Totally enjoyed that. Next one, Stephen King's Cujo. Y'all should know by now that Stephen King is my favorite author of all time. I think I've read just about everything. There's just a few books that I haven't read yet. This, however, was not one of my favorites. It was okay. It was pretty quick read. But I didn't feel like the book was about Cujo. I felt it was about other things going on, and I was just hoping it was going to focus more on Cujo, and it didn't come out that way. In my opinion, not his best. It was okay. It's worth reading. I think I gave it like a 3-star. But yeah, it was a little disappointing. Well, not even disappointing, I guess, but just not his best and not my favorite. The next one, Unforgettable by Trish Perry. I just recently got this book. I think it was November that I actually bought the book, and I decided I wanted to read it. This is kind of a contemporary kind of romance, but not over-the-top romance. The whole idea of the story, or the premise of the story, is she is a dancer, she's an instructor, she has her own dance studio. She meets this guy, and he thinks that the whole lifestyle's silly, and his mind pretty much gets changed throughout the book. And it's a sweet story, fresh, and I think, you know, it's a fluid read, so would I read any more by her? Probably. I could probably read something else by her. Not my favorite by any means, but it was just, like I said, it was a sweet story, nice and fresh and new, because this is not the genre that I normally read. So I did enjoy it, though. Next, Dust and Decay by Jonathan Mayberry, who is another one of my new favorite authors, and this is probably also in my top 5 favorite books. I'm loving this Benny Amura series, and this is book 2 in that series. I am ready now for book 3, and I'm looking forward to that. But the characters in this book, I love them. The premise of the book, I love it. It's about zombies and the apocalypse and all that good stuff, and it's just great. It's a great series, and it was a friend of mine actually on Goodreads that got me involved in Jonathan Mayberry, because she absolutely loves this stuff. So I'm like, you know what? I've been wanting to get into some zombie stories, so I'm going to start now, and this was a great series to start with. I'm totally enjoying it. So if you like zombies, you'll like Jonathan Mayberry. He's absolutely fantastic writer. And the last book, book number 6 for this month, Raindance, by Joy DeCock. Now, this was not supposed to be the book. It was not on my TBR. It was supposed to be Patient Zero by Jonathan Mayberry, but if you saw my super huge, ginormous book haul from Indiana, this was one of the books. And I read the synopsis on this book, and I thought, you know what, I really want to read this. So I kind of strayed off my TBR for December and picked this one up. The premise of the story is there's 2 women that meet in the doctor's office. One is infertile, and one is there for an abortion. They get together, they share their lives, become friends, and that's all I'm going to say. It was absolutely heart-wrenching in parts and very touching, and I really liked it. So if you ever get a chance, Joy DeCock, Raindance. Beautiful story. That is it for my December wrap-up. Now we're going to get into my January TBR. So let's get started on that. It's a hefty one, but not any heftier than I planned for last month. I chose 8 books for this month, but I think because there's no holidays and there's no running around and no hustle and bustle, I should be able to get through these books and maybe add a couple more. So what I'm going to start out with is Patient Zero. Again, this was supposed to be read last month. I didn't get to it, but I have started the book. And it seems like it's going to be really, really good. Jonathan Mayberry. I love his stuff, so this book should be no different. This book is actually book number 1 in the Joe Ledger series. So I'm going to try and get this one finished as quick as I can now that I'm settled down. So yeah, Patient Zero. And then book number 2 also was supposed to be on my December TBR, which was Tammy Hoag's Dust to Dust. This is book 2 to the Kovac and Lishka series. And I, again, didn't get to this. I am looking forward to getting into it and getting through this series. She is a pretty decent writer. I really do enjoy her stuff. This is not going to have the same characters like that were in Ashes to Ashes. I really loved them, but they do not carry over into this one. We do have Kovac and Lishka, which is what the series is, and those are the detectives. I didn't find in Ashes to Ashes, I didn't think they were really dominant in that series. So maybe in this one they'll be more dominant. So yeah, Tammy Hoag's Dust to Dust. The next one, Septimus Heap's Magic. This is book 1 by Angie Sage. I have read this book before, but this is part of one of my challenges for this year. Well, not really a challenge. It's a new bookathon is what we're calling it in the group. And this is the series that I chose, and I just really need to reread these to get to the rest of them in the series. The premise of the bookathon is to get through series that we want to finally finish, and we can finish them with this bookathon. So this one is happening this month. Next, Catching Fire. Of course, you knew I had to get that one read this month since I just read Hunger Games. I know that I'm going to probably really enjoy this one. My son is bugging me so I can watch the movie. And I'm going to try to get to this one as soon as I can in this month. It just depends on how fast I get done with Patient Zero and Dust to Dust, because I really need to get those two finished for this month. Next one, Divergent. I'm probably one of the last booktubers to read this series, and I figure it's about time. I've had this book forever. I got it like summertime, and I just never picked it up to read it, and I've heard so much about it, so I'm gonna get to it. I think we're reading this one. It's gonna be a buddy read, and I think it's gonna be like January 20th. I think we're gonna start this one. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the series and getting through it. Next, I'm dying to read Triangles by Ellen Hopkins. This book I should be able to zoom through because, as you know, I said before, she writes in verse. And it makes for very fast reads. I'm dying to read this one. This one is her adult book because most of them are young adult. And I'm so looking forward to reading this. And hopefully I can read this one. And then when I finish the rest of mine for the TBR, I can slip in Collateral or Tricks or something else by her. So yeah, Triangles. Next one for this month, Flesh and Bone by Jonathan Mayberry. You know I've got to read this one. I have to carry on with the Benny and Mira series. And since I'm loving it, this one should be a very quick read. There's only one more after this, Fire and Ash, which if you watch my haul, you saw that I got that book. So, yeah, this one, hopefully pretty soon in January I can read this one. The last book for this month is The Book Thief. I've heard so much about this this book, and this is also going to be a buddy read within my group. I think we're gonna get to this one on the 6th, unless I got that mixed around with the Divergent. I can't remember which one's the 20th, which one's the 6th, so I'll have to recheck on that. But this is coming up this month. I'm really excited to read it because I've heard so much. I ended up with the movie cover rather than the original cover, but this is what they had. So this is the one I got. But I really like the cover. It's really sweet. And that is it. That is my January TBR. 8 books, and I hope that I can read all of them and maybe a couple more. We'll see what happens. They all seem to be pretty easy reads, so we'll see what happens. Stay tuned, guys, for more. Thanks for tuning in this time. Happy New Year to everybody, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.